Hi, Darin Mangum again. I just wanted to post another video. Again, this is a series of videos that I post just with common questions that I get from my clients on a regular basis. Oftentimes, after we've drafted the PPM and given you all of the documents, again, everything in PDF format so that you can either distribute that electronically or print it, however you're going to distribute it to the investors. And that's an important thing we can cover in another video. But uh, a lot of times I get the question, what is the logistics in paperwork, and what do I give the investor, right? Now, again, a lot of people have different opinions on this, but this is my general opinion. Again, your circumstances may be different, but again, call me anytime. You got my cell phone. We can talk about it. But anyway, basically, what typically happens is that, again, you have an investor, you're talking to them about your offering. Usually, you're not pulling out the PPM. Again, PPM, big thick document, you know, 80 to 100 pages. Usually, not pulling that out right off the bat. You're leading out with an executive summary, which again we definitely when I do PPMs, I also include in my services. We'll draft an executive summary and we'll draft a term sheet. Now, executive summary in my practice is usually, again, a one pager or maybe a front and back, something like that, something very short that basically highlights the key points of the offering, who the company is, its principles, and all that. Just a one pager. Um, and obviously, you want to put disclaimers on there, and obviously, I can give you the right disclaimers that says, hey, look, this is not the PPM. This is not an offer. It's just an executive summary summarizing the deal. Now, a term sheet goes in a little more detail. Usually, a term sheet is part of the PPM and what we call the summary of a summary of the offering. Usually, it's right after the state disclosure, the state notice section, and there's a section that says summary of the offering. And basically, that's usually a 3 to 4 page document that basically goes through not just the terms of the offering, a little background, but also different, highlights of the different aspects of the offering, maybe how the, tax treatment is planned to work, and different distribution type information. But anyway, just basically a summary of the offering. Usually that's what you sort of lead out with, just to see if there's an interest. Because if you're talking to an investor, they're looking for technology, and you happen to have a real estate deal. Okay, you don't want to have to go through the hassle of giving them a PPM and making an offer technically if they're not interested, right? So hey, this is what we're doing. If you're interested, then I can talk more. So usually those initial documents are what is given. Obviously, if the investor is interested and has an interest in the offering, likes what they see in the executive summary, then they say, okay, yeah, okay, well, here's my full PPM. Here's all the disclosure, full disclosure, the PPM, and the PPM obviously has additional exhibits, has our financial statements, has our subscription documents, copy of our operating agreement. Depends on the offering, but different, all that different information. If a real estate project, it's got exhibits having the property itself and all of that. So, the PPM obviously is the main selling document, and that's what's given. And oftentimes it's like, well, what do we do next? Do I have to do they sign the PPM and give it back to me, or how does that all work? Usually the PPM has exhibits, and usually the last exhibit in the document are what we call the subscription documents. Those are the documents. The only thing that the investor gives back to you is the subscription documents. They sign, and usually I typically have those in a separate PDF, and so that if they're printing it and signing it to you, or if they're electronically signing it, they're not having to send back the full PPM. They're just sending back the subscription documents. The PPM itself is something they keep. That's for their records that they've received, right? And so the subscription documents is the last, usually the last exhibit in the PPM, and those are the only documents that they would need to sign. And usually it constitutes two parts. One being the suitability questionnaire that they would fill out and obviously return to you, but then also the subscription agreement. That basically the subscription agreement is the key document that they would sign to say, okay, look, I've received the PPM and I've reviewed the terms and I agree to these terms. And they're signing, and oftentimes it's incorporating other documents by reference, like the operating agreement, things like that. So anyway, but yeah, so those are the documents that you'd receive back from them and that you would then countersign as an acceptance, because technically the investor is subscribing, so they're basically, it's like an application, right? That says, hey, I would like to invest with you based on what I've seen. I'd like to invest with you, and then you at that point have the discretion to say, okay, I accept your subscription, and you would sign the subscription agreement, countersign, and usually the best practice is to send them a copy. Usually send them a welcome aboard letter, a copy of the subscription documents that you've countersigned, and then obviously if you're issuing a stock certificate or a membership interest certificate, anything like that, then that would also be good practice to send back with them. So anyway, all of that is hopefully that makes sense. I again happy to talk about any of that. If you want to, feel free to give me a call and I can go through that with you. So anyway, hope everything's well, and we'll talk to you on another video. Thank you. Bye.